Beloved soul, today I speak of a wisdom long hidden in plain sight. They never told you that money is not metal, nor paper, nor digits on a screen. It is thought, it is spirit, it is energy clothed in form. And as surely as the river follows its course, money follows the course of your words and your beliefs. You have been taught to chase money, to fear its absence, to cling to it as though it were slipping sand in your hands. But the truth is far greater. Money is not your master, it is your servant. It bows to the words you speak and the pictures you dare to hold in your imagination. The poor man does not lack coins, he lacks vision. The rich man is not rich because of his vaults, he is rich because of the images he has dared to affirm with faith. Say it now within yourself, I see wealth, I see abundance, I see prosperity, and it comes to me in ways expected and unexpected. Every word you utter is a decree. When you say, I cannot afford, you command poverty to stay by your side. When you say, money flows to me easily and abundantly, the very forces of the universe bow and conspire to bring it to pass. Words are seeds, and the harvest of money is hidden within the seeds you plant daily in speech. Fear has told you that money is hard to earn, that money is scarce, that money is dangerous. Yet wisdom declares the opposite. Money is abundant, money is spiritual, money is a tool for freedom and service. It is not evil, for nothing of divine origin can be evil. It is the misuse of money that brings corruption, but the right use of money brings freedom, expansion, and joy. Hear this truth: what you bless expands, and what you curse contracts. When you bless your money, bless the money of others, bless the wealth that you see around you, you multiply it within your own life. When envy arises, when criticism flows, you close the gates of your own prosperity. Open those gates today. Bless money wherever you see it, and it will rush to you in overflowing streams. Perhaps you have faced debts, losses, or financial hardship. Do not curse those moments, for they are not punishments but invitations. Invitations to shift your inner language to say, this too shall pass, and greater riches are on their way. The moment you release fear and claim your supply with certainty, the universe rearranges itself to meet your demand. Wealth is not magnetized by greed but by gratitude. A heart that counts blessings attracts more to be blessed for. A mind that rehearses lack attracts more lack. Therefore, give thanks for every coin, every note, every opportunity, and watch as the floodgates of supply swing wide open. And here lies the final hidden wisdom. Money is not about hoarding, but about flowing. The tighter you grip it, the faster it escapes. The freer you let it move, through giving, through investing, through blessing, the more it increases. Money is like breath. In giving you exhale, in receiving you inhale, and in the flow of both, life is sustained. So rise now in faith and speak the words of power. I am a magnet for money. I am a channel for abundance. I am rich in spirit and therefore rich in hand. Let your words become your decree become your reality, and your reality become the testimony that money is not hidden from you. It is hidden within you, waiting to be spoken into life. The wisdom of money is not hidden in banks' vaults or business deals. It is hidden in your thoughts, your beliefs, and your spoken words. And once you align with truth, abundance flows effortlessly. For so long people have looked outside themselves, searching for the secret key to prosperity, believing that if they could just find the right job or strike the right deal or meet the right investor, then all would be well. Yet the truth that has been buried in plain sight is that the true vault of riches is the mind and the words that you allow to pass your lips. When you understand this, you realize that you carry the greatest treasury within yourself, and that the conditions of your outer life are but a reflection of the pictures and declarations that you hold in the silence of your inner world. Money is not a cruel master standing over you with chains of debt and fear. It is a willing servant, eager to follow the orders you issue through your thoughts and affirmations. Yet how many treat it otherwise, running after it, as though it were a wild beast hiding in the shadows. The more you chase, the faster it seems to run away. And yet when you call it with calm certainty, when you speak with authority and faith that it belongs to you, it comes softly and easily like a loyal friend returning home. This is why so many toil endlessly without result, for they have been taught to work harder rather than to think clearer and to speak stronger. The secret was never in the sweat of the brow. It was in the power of the spoken decree. Think for a moment about how often you have said, "I cannot afford it." Those words are like a lock placed on the door of your own prosperity. Each time you utter them, you reinforce the belief that lack is your portion, and soon enough the outer world arranges itself to agree with you. Bills rise, opportunities fade, doors close because your very words have commanded it to be so. And yet the opposite is equally true when you speak life, when you say money flows to me easily and abundantly, when you declare opportunities chase me down, when you affirm, "I am divinely supplied and richly blessed," then the universe bends to obey your decree. Unseen currents shift, strangers appear with offers, chance meetings turn into breakthroughs. What was once blocked suddenly flows with ease, and all because you dared to align your words with truth. The wisdom of money is that it is not cold metal or printed paper, but a spiritual current, a living energy that responds to faith. It does not answer to fear, it does not bow to doubt, it only comes where there is expectation and certainty. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not dig it up each day to see if it is growing. He trusts the law of the soil, he waters it, and expects the harvest. So it is with your words. When you sow words of wealth, you must trust the law of spirit, that every seed will bear fruit in its season. You do not cancel your harvest by digging it up with doubt. Instead, you stand in unwavering expectation, knowing that supply is already yours for centuries. Many have been told that money is scarce, that only a select few can enjoy wealth, that to desire riches is selfish or wrong. And because of these lies, multitudes live small lives in fear of lack. But the hidden wisdom is that money is abundant and that it is not evil but neutral like water or fire. It only reflects the purpose of the hand that holds it in the hand of one who seeks to bless, to expand, to uplift. Money becomes a force of freedom and service. It builds schools, feeds the hungry, shelters the homeless, creates inventions that uplift humanity. But in the hand of one who serves only greed, it becomes a chain that destroys the very heart that clings to it. So do not fear money, do not despise it, but claim it with holy confidence as a servant of good. The ancient law has always been what you bless expands, and what you criticize contracts. When you see wealth in another and envy rises, you close the doors of your own prosperity. When you criticize money as evil, you unconsciously push it away. But when you bless money wherever you see it, when you rejoice in the success of others, when you say thank you for the supply already in your hands, no matter how small, you multiply its power in your life. Blessing is the magnet of multiplication. The moment you bless, you open a floodgate through which greater abundance can rush to you. Think about the times when life has pressed you with debts, or when unexpected losses left you shaken. These moments were not curses, but calls, invitations to rise higher, to shift your language from fear to faith, to say, "This too shall pass," and greater supply is already on its way. Every so-called setback is merely a test of whether you will cling to old patterns of lack or whether you will rise with new declarations of abundance. Those who fall into despair repeat the old cycle. Those who rise in faith break it and step into a new flow. Gratitude is the silent force that multiplies wealth faster than any strategy, for when you give thanks for what you have, no matter how small, you prove to the universe that you are ready for more. Gratitude is magnetic. It pulls opportunities, contacts, ideas, and income streams into your orbit, but ingratitude repels them like a shield that blocks your blessings. This is why those who constantly complain about what they lack continue to lack, and those who constantly give thanks for even the smallest coin soon find themselves surrounded by riches, for the universe is always eager to give more to the one who appreciates. The most sacred truth about money is that it is about flow, not possession. It is like a river always moving, and when you block the current, it stagnates. When you release it, it returns to you multiplied. The miser who clings to every coin tightens his own chains, but the generous soul who allows money to move through giving, investing, sharing opens channels for more to return. Giving and receiving are one and the same, exhaling and inhaling parts of the same breath. And just as you cannot live by inhaling alone, neither can you live by hoarding alone. So understand today that the hidden wisdom of money is already within you. It is in the thoughts you think, it is in the words you speak, it is in the gratitude you feel, and blessings you give, and when you align all these with truth, money ceases to be a struggle and becomes a steady river flowing into your life, not by toil or chase, but by the authority of your word, the clarity of your vision, and the faith of your heart for the true bank, the true vault, the true treasure. House is within, and once you unlock it, there is no limit to the abundance that will flow effortlessly into your hands. Money is not your master, it is your servant. And yet for centuries people have bowed before it, trembling in fear of its absence, running endlessly to catch it, as though it were a cruel ruler holding power over their destiny. The truth hidden in plain sight is that money was never meant to rule you, it was meant to serve you. It is a substance of spirit taking form, as coins, notes, opportunities, and resources, and it moves in response to the images you dare to hold in your mind. And the words you dare to release with your tongue. Money is not chasing you, it is waiting to be commanded. Look around at the world, and you will see countless lives dictated by the presence or absence of money. Men and women stay in jobs they despise because they fear losing their income. Family break under the weight of financial strain. Dreams are buried because of the illusion that money is a master too powerful to resist. But the true wisdom reveals that this illusion is the greatest lie ever told. Money has no life of its own. It only mirrors the life that you breathe into it with your imagination and your affirmations. Money listens to you far more closely than you have ever listened to it. Imagine a king who forgets his own crown and begins to serve his servant. He takes orders, he bends his will, he surrenders his authority. That is how humanity has lived with money, forgetting that they are the master and that money is meant to obey. This reversal is the root of bondage, but the moment you stand upright and claim your dominion, the balance is restored. You realize that money is clay in your hands waiting to be shaped. It is an instrument of freedom, a tool for service, a messenger that delivers according to the decree of your word. Consider the truth that every object in this world was once unseen and unformed. A building was once an image in the mind of an architect. A business was once an idea in the imagination of its founder. Wealth too begins as a picture within your consciousness. Money responds to the images you consistently dwell upon. If you hold images of lack, you create conditions of lack. If you hold images of abundance, you create channels of abundance. What you see inwardly manifests outwardly. Money is not the source, it is the shadow. The real source is your thought held with unwavering faith. When you speak, you give shape to the unseen. Your words are invisible molds that money fills with form. If you say, I am always struggling, money obeys and creates conditions that confirm your decree. If you say, money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways, money obeys and arranges itself to deliver through open doors, unexpected calls, sudden opportunities. Your speech is not idle chatter. It is law. Every affirmation is a seed planted in the soil of spirit, and money is one of the first fruits to show whether you have planted seeds of fear or seeds of faith. Some think money belongs only to those born in privilege or those with special access to secret markets. But this is not truth. Money belongs to the one who commands it with conviction. It does not discriminate between the rich and the poor, the educated and the uneducated. It only listens to the voice of belief. Those who master their words and guard their thoughts rise regardless of background, while those who misuse words and entertain fear remain bound despite advantage. The servant called money does not judge, it only serves faithfully according to the orders you issue. You may have noticed how some people attract wealth easily as though luck follows them, while others work endlessly yet see little gain. The difference is not in effort, but in consciousness. One lives as the master, giving clear and confident, commands; the other lives as the servant, begging for scraps. When you beg, you lower yourself, and money reflects your belief in smallness. When you command, you stand in authority, and money reflects your belief in abundance. This is why two people in the same field can have completely different results. One speaks life and reaps abundance, the other speaks fear and reaps lack. Think of money as water flowing in a river. It does not question where to go, it simply follows the channel carved before it. Your mind carves the channel, your affirmations direct the stream. When you carve wide open paths of expectation and gratitude, the river flows freely. When you block the stream with fear, doubt, and self-criticism, the flow slows or stops, yet the water has not disappeared. It is waiting only for you to clear the channel. Money, too, has not left you. It waits for you to open the gates of thought and speech that will allow it to flow once more. There are those who believe that to have money is to be enslaved by it, but this is confusion. Enslavement comes not from possession, but from forgetfulness of authority. When you forget that you are master, you become a slave. When you remember your authority, money bows in obedience. Money is not a chain, it is a key. It is not a master, it is a messenger. It carries out instructions with precision. It is eager to serve those who give it purpose. It multiplies in the hands of those who know they command it. It diminishes in the hands of those who fear it. If you wish to see proof of this truth, start with your own words. Listen to what you say. Each day when bills arrive, do you declare, I never have enough, or do you affirm, I am fully supplied? When you desire something, do you complain, I cannot afford, or do you affirm, if this belongs to my good, it comes to me with ease? Every statement is an instruction, and money obeys more faithfully than the most loyal servant. When you speak of endless struggle, money confirms. When you speak of endless supply, money confirms you are always the master, whether you rule wisely or carelessly. Let the image you hold be one of prosperity, flowing like a river. Let the words you speak be filled with authority, blessing, and gratitude. Speak as one who knows the servant will obey, not as one who doubts the servant's loyalty. When you rise each morning, declare, money flows to me freely and abundantly. I command new channels of income. I am a magnet for wealth, and watch how opportunities begin to align. Watch how people appear to help, how doors open without struggle. Money has no choice but to respond, for it is not your master. It is your servant, and your words are its law. Poverty is not a lack of resources, it is a lack of vision. The world is filled with treasures, overflowing with opportunities, filled with hidden wealth waiting to be claimed, yet many walk as though blind, unable to see beyond their present condition, chained by thoughts of lack and words of despair. They say there is not enough for me. They say I was born in the wrong place. They say my chances are gone. And by saying so, they make it true for themselves. But the moment vision awakens, the moment the inner eye opens to see abundance all around, prosperity begins to flow into the life of that person. No matter how dark their past, no matter how empty their pockets, it is never the outer circumstances that bind you. It is the inner picture that rules you. If you see yourself as poor, you may win a fortune, yet soon lose it, for the picture of poverty will demand to be fulfilled. If you see yourself as rich in spirit, even when you hold only a single coin, you will magnetize increase. You will draw opportunities to multiply that coin until your outer matches your inner vision. This is why two people can stand side by side in the same city with the same opportunities, and one rises into abundance while the other sinks into lack. The difference is not the world around them. The difference is the world within them. You must see yourself as rich before you ever become rich. You must feel the certainty of wealth before it manifests in your hand, for the outer always follows the inner. The world is a mirror reflecting the thoughts you project. If you carry a picture of insufficiency, the mirror will show you more of it. If you carry the vision of overflowing supply, the mirror will reflect new doors, new people, new channels that bring it to pass. So stop measuring your life by what you see with physical eyes, and begin to measure it by what you dare to see with the eye of faith. There are those who cry out that poverty is caused by the greed of others, that scarcity is imposed by the systems of the world. But hear me when I say there is a higher law above every system, and a greater source beyond every man-made structure. The universe is abundant beyond measure. The earth itself proves this. Every seed multiplies into harvest. Every river replenishes the sea. Every tree bears fruit without struggle. Nature teaches the lesson of endless supply, yet man in his blindness declares lack, because he has not learned to see abundance first. In spirit, vision is the true currency of wealth. What you dare to imagine and believe becomes the blueprint for what you will touch and hold. The one who sees himself as prosperous carries himself differently. He speaks with authority. He moves with certainty. He attracts others who see in him a leader, and opportunities gather around him like iron to a magnet, while the one who sees himself as lacking walks with slumped shoulders, speaks words of defeat, and repels the very opportunities that could have lifted him into wealth. Both may walk the same streets, yet their experiences will be worlds apart because of the vision they carry. The moment you change your inner picture, your outer life begins to rearrange, perhaps not instantly like lightning, but like dawn rising over the horizon. Steadily, surely light replaces darkness. The man who once believed he was cursed to lack suddenly begins to meet new people who inspire him. He begins to notice possibilities he once overlooked. He begins to speak differently, and people respond with favor. What changed was not the world, but his vision of himself. And because the inner shifted, the outer had no choice but to align. To see yourself as rich in spirit means to carry the consciousness of abundance before the evidence shows. It means to walk though you already possess it, to speak as though you already own it, to give thanks as though it were already delivered. This is not delusion. This is the law of creation. Every inventor sees his machine in the mind before it appears in the factory. Every builder sees the house complete before the foundation is laid. Every artist sees the picture finished before the brush touches the canvas. So too must you see yourself rich before riches arrive. Do not wait for your bank account to define you. Let your vision define your bank account. Do not wait for others to declare your worth. Declare it yourself within your heart. Say, I am rich, I am supplied, I am connected to infinite abundance. Say it until your mind accepts it. Say it until your words align with it. Say it until your body carries the vibration of certainty. When you do this, you become a magnet, a living beacon for money to find you, for ideas to flow to you, for people to be drawn into your life who will open doors that no man can shut. Understand that vision is not fantasy. It is creation in its earliest stage. Imagination is the workshop of the divine. Every fortune began as a vision. Every business empire began as a dream. Every work of wealth was once unseen before it was seen. If you allow poverty of vision to remain in you, no amount of outer gain will last. But if you cultivate prosperity of vision, even in the midst of lack, you are planting seeds that cannot fail to bear fruit. There are countless stories of those who began with nothing yet carried the vision of greatness in their hearts. They refused to be defined by empty pockets. They refused to bow before temporary hardship. They spoke life when others spoke despair. They saw themselves as kings and queens while the world called them beggars. And because the vision was true, it eventually clothed them in outer wealth. What they were within, they became without. And this law is unbroken. It waits only for you to use it. So today, you must decide what vision you will hold. If you continue to see yourself small, poor, unworthy, lacking, then poverty will cling to you, no matter how much you struggle. But if you lift your vision, if you dare to see yourself as divinely supplied, if you dare to affirm that abundance is your inheritance, if you dare to picture yourself walking in wealth, speaking in wealth, giving in wealth, then nothing in this world can keep it from you. The world will bend, the universe will rearrange, people will appear, channels will open, and your outer life will rise to match the richness of your inner vision. Every word you speak is a command to unseen forces. Every phrase that leaves your lips travels farther than your ears can hear or your eyes can see. Words are not empty sounds, they are living decrees, shaping substance, moving energy, calling forth form from the invisible realm into the visible. When you speak of wealth, you summon wealth. When you speak of lack, you summon lack. When you declare generosity, you open channels of giving and receiving. When you affirm limitless supply, you build invisible bridges for money to rush toward you with unstoppable momentum. Most people speak carelessly, unaware that their every sentence is an order placed with the universe. They joke about being broke. They complain about never having enough. They curse their debts, and with each word they write contracts with poverty, contracts that unseen forces rush to fulfill, not because they are cursed, but because the law of speech is exact. It does not question, it does not hesitate, it delivers what is spoken, for words are seeds, and the soil of spirit does not discriminate. It simply grows whatever you plant. If you plant thorns, you reap thorns. If you plant wheat, you reap wheat. If you plant wealth, you reap wealth. The great secret is that your tongue is a tool of creation, and it has been so since the beginning of time. Nothing comes into being until it is spoken. Let there be light were the first words recorded, and from that declaration, light appeared in the same way. When you say, let there be abundance in my life, unseen forces align to obey. When you say money comes to me easily and abundantly, the energy around you arranges to make it so. When you say doors of opportunity open before me, favor follows me, supply is mine, you are not speaking poetry, you are speaking law, and law always fulfills itself. Consider how a general commands his army. He does not beg the soldiers to move. He does not doubt whether they will obey. He gives a clear command with authority, and the troops march into action. Your words are no different every time you speak with faith. You give orders to the unseen army of substance, energy, and opportunity. When you say, I am prosperous, the command is issued, and the troops of prosperity begin moving. When you say, I am supplied, the command is issued, and supply begins to find its way. When you say, I am rich in every way, the command is issued, and the invisible begins weaving conditions to make it manifest. The tragedy is that many are commanding defeat while praying for victory. They say, I never have enough. They say money is hard to find. They say wealth belongs only to others. And then they wonder why they struggle. Their words contradict their prayers. Their lips cancel their faith. But when you align your words with your desire, when you speak only what you wish to see, then the unseen forces move in harmony with you. Intention words are the key. They unlock the gates through which blessings flow, or they lock them tight against you. Think of your words as bridges. Every sentence you speak lays planks across the unseen river. If you speak of abundance, you are building a strong golden bridge across which money can march toward you. If you speak of scarcity, you are tearing down the bridge and leaving yourself stranded. If you speak of generosity, you are widening the bridge for supply to flow freely through giving and receiving. If you speak of fear, you are narrowing the bridge until nothing can cross. So ask yourself each day, what bridges am I building with my words? Are they bridges of abundance or walls of limitation? Every declaration of wealth expands the path for wealth to come. Every statement of gratitude multiplies what you already have. Every blessing you speak over your money strengthens the flow of more into your life. When you say, I bless the money in my hands, you prepare it to return multiplied. When you say, I bless the money in circulation, I bless the prosperity of others, you open yourself to receive multiplied blessings in return. Blessing expands, cursing contracts, complaining blocks. Gratitude unlocks. It is all in the words you speak. There is power even in the words you speak casually for the subconscious mind. And the universe do not recognize jokes, they only recognize commands. When you say, I am broke, even in jest, you call for conditions of lack. When you say, I am drowning in bills, even in laughter, you summon struggle. But when you discipline your tongue to speak only what you want, you rise above these traps. When you choose to say, I am overflowing in abundance, I always have more than enough, money comes to me from expected and unexpected sources, then you have set forces in motion that cannot fail. Understand that words spoken in faith carry weight beyond time and space. You may not see instant results, but the command has already gone forth, and the invisible is working on your behalf. You may say, money flows to me now, and though your pockets are empty today, the decree has been sent, and the channels will soon open if you remain faithful. If you do not cancel your own order with words of doubt, the command must fulfill itself. The universe does not forget, it delivers in divine timing. Every fortune has been spoken into being. Every empire began with words of vision. Every movement that shook the world began with a voice declaring what did not yet exist. Your voice carries that same authority. It does not matter where you were born, what education you had, what struggles you face. The words you speak can lift you higher than any background or condition for speech. The great equalizer, it gives everyone the same power to command their world. So guard your mouth as you would guard a treasure chest. Fill it only with words of life, words of wealth, words of abundance, words of blessing. Let no idle complaint escape your lips. Let no declaration of defeat take root on your tongue. For your tongue is a pen writing the script of your future. Your tongue is a key unlocking vaults of riches. Your tongue is a bridge over which supply marches faithfully into your life. Speak now and declare it. Money flows to me easily and abundantly. I am a magnet for prosperity. I bless money, I bless the prosperity of others. I live in a limitless universe. I see doors opening, I see supply rushing, I see opportunities multiplying. Say it with faith, and let unseen forces rush to obey. For every word you speak is a command, and the universe never ignores a command spoken with belief. Money does not come by worry. Money does not come by fear. Money does not come by endless nights of anxious calculation. Money comes by faith. Money comes by certainty. Money comes by the unshakable knowing that the universe already holds your supply, waiting for you to claim it without hesitation, without Doubt without trembling at the thought of how it will arrive. Worry is the thief of wealth. Fear is the jailer of prosperity. Anxiety is the wall that blocks the very flow you seek. But faith is the golden key that unlocks the vault of abundance. So many live as prisoners of fear. They wake in morning wondering, how will I pay these bills? They walk through the day thinking, what if I lose my job? They lie awake at night saying, what if money runs out? And each thought is like a chain. Each word is like a lock. And they do not realize that in worrying, they are creating the very lack they dread. Worry is faith in the wrong direction. It is belief in scarcity. It is certainty that failure is coming. And the universe obediently delivers what the mind has commanded, for the universe does not argue, it only reflects. But when you rise in faith, when you declare with certainty, my supply is already prepared, my needs are already met, abundance is already mine, then you change the vibration of your life completely. Suddenly, the same world that looked threatening becomes filled with opportunities. The same day that felt heavy becomes light. The same future that looked dark begins to glow with possibility. For nothing in the outer world changed, yet everything changed because your inner state shifted from fear to faith. And the outer must always follow the inner. Think about the farmer. He does not worry over every seed he places in the soil. He does not stand trembling saying, what if it does not grow? He does not toss and turn at night calculating the 1,000 things that could go wrong. He plants, he waters, he trusts, and he expects the harvest, for he knows the law of the soil and the cycle of the seasons. He knows that the earth already holds the supply waiting to break forth in time. So it is with your money, your wealth, your prosperity. You must sow the seed of faith and expect the harvest without digging it up each day, with worry without poisoning it, with fear. The tragedy is that most people sow faith for a moment and then uproot it with doubt. They say money flows to me easily. Then they look at their empty pocket and say perhaps not. They say I am abundantly supplied, and then they see a bill and say I will never have enough. And in that moment the seed is uprooted. But the one who holds steady, the one who speaks with certainty and does not waver, is the one who sees the harvest. Faith must be consistent, not occasional. Certainty must be constant, not momentary. Money is not earned by frantic grasping. It is attracted by calm assurance. When you believe in lack, you chase money as though it were running away from you. When you believe in abundance, you know that money is already seeking you. It is already circulating. It is already flowing toward you, waiting for you to open the gates with faith. Fear closes the gate, faith opens it. Doubt tightens the lock, certainty breaks it wide open. Your work is not to chase, your work is to claim, to affirm, to believe, and to act with confidence. That supply is yours. The universe has never once been empty of supply. There is no shortage in spirit. The only shortage is in belief. The only scarcity is in imagination. Look around at nature. The trees never cease bearing fruit. The oceans never cease to rise with waves. The sun never ceases to shine each day without fail. Creation itself teaches the truth of abundance, yet man in his fear imagines scarcity, and so he creates it. But the one who believes in the abundant nature of the universe lives in a different reality. Though he walks the same streets as others, his experience is different because his faith is different. Fear is loud and convincing. It whispers, what if you fail? What if you lose everything? What if you are not worthy? But faith speaks more powerfully. It says it is already done. It is already given. It is already mine. Fear looks at the evidence and declares defeat. Faith looks beyond the evidence and declares victory. Fear keeps you small. Faith enlarges your territory. Fear tells you to hesitate. Faith tells you to act boldly. Fear closes doors. Faith opens them. Every great step toward prosperity was taken not in fear, but in faith. Every fortune ever created was born not of worry, but of certainty. You must train yourself to release fear and to live in faith. When the thought of lack arises, you must replace it instantly with words of abundance. When the feeling of worry tries to grip you, you must rise and declare money flows to me easily and abundantly. My supply is here. My wealth is certain. My abundance is unstoppable. Every repetition strengthens the foundation of faith until doubt loses its grip and certainty becomes your natural state. Faith is not pretending. Faith is knowing. It is not wishful thinking. It is divine certainty. When you walk in faith, doors open that fear could never open. People are drawn to you because they feel your confidence. Opportunities are attracted to you because you carry certainty instead of desperation. Money comes to you because you are aligned with the truth that it was always meant to serve you, not master you. become magnetic, and money cannot resist the pull of a mind certain of its supply. And so the question is not will the universe provide, the supply is already prepared. The question is, will you claim it, will you speak it, will you believe it without hesitation, or will you waver in doubt and delay what has always been yours? The universe waits like a banquet table already set with everything you desire, and worry keeps you outside the door, while faith throws the door wide open and says, this table is mine. So remember always, money does not come by worry or fear. It comes by faith and certainty, by the inner conviction that the supply is here now, by the unshakable decree that abundance belongs to you and cannot be withheld. For when you claim it, when you affirm it, when you refuse to doubt it, the unseen forces rush to obey, and the wealth that was waiting begins to pour into your hands. Money is not a piece of paper. Money is not a number in a bank account. Money is energy. And like all energy, it responds to the way it is treated. It is alive with movement, alive with circulation, alive with the rhythm of flow. Money is a servant, not a master. Money is a mirror of the consciousness that holds it. When you treat money with fear, when you clutch it tightly, when you hoard it as though it will run away, you choke the very flow that was meant to bless you. But when you treat money with respect, with gratitude, with joy, and with the willingness to let it circulate, it multiplies, it expands, it comes back in waves greater than you release. Think of the river. It does not gather water in one place and hold it until it stagnates. It flows, it moves, it nourishes the earth, and returns to the sea. And from the sea it rises again to fall as rain, and once more feed the river. So it is with money when you allow it to flow, when you spend with wisdom and gratitude, when you give with love and confidence, when you circulate it in faith, it returns multiplied. But when you stop the river, when you dam it with fear, when you say, I must hold every drop, or I will never have enough, the water grows stale, the life dies, and the flow is cut off. Gratitude is the magnet of money. When you thank every dollar that comes to you, when you bless every bill you pay, when you look at your exchange with joy and say, I am glad to release this money because it blesses others, and it will return to me greater than before. You send out a vibration of respect that money responds to. But when you curse the bill, when you say, I hate this payment, when you resent every expense, you are sending the energy of rejection. And money will not stay where it is resented. Money stays where it is respected. Money grows where it is blessed. The fearful man says, I must keep everything. I cannot spend, I cannot give, for I might lose it all. And in that fear, he shuts the door to greater supply. He lives small, and his money grows smaller. But the faithful man says, I release this with joy. I spend this with gratitude. I give this with love, knowing it will return multiplied. And because he sees money as energy, not as loss, he lives in abundance, for he understands that circulation is the law of life. Everything that is alive circulates. The blood in your body must circulate, the air in your lungs must circulate, the food in the soil must circulate, and so too must money. To respect money is not to worship it, it is not to bow to it, it is to recognize it as a tool, as a servant, as an instrument of good. It is to handle it with care, to organize it, to know where it is going to spend it consciously, not in fear or impulse, but in awareness and gratitude. It is to see it as a channel through which blessings flow, not an idol to cling to or a master to obey. For money magnifies the heart of the one who holds it. If the heart is fearful, the money multiplies fear. If the heart is grateful, the money multiplies gratitude. If the heart is generous, the money multiplies generosity. There are those who hoard believing they are safe, but safety is an illusion when fear is the foundation. For no amount of hoarded money can silence the voice of worry. No vault can quiet the fear of loss. No treasure chest can heal the scarcity of the mind, but the one who walks in gratitude and circulation lives secure even with little, because he knows the law. He knows that what he releases will return. He knows that the flow cannot be broken, and so he rests in peace, while the fearful man trembles though his storehouses are full. Money is energy, and energy seeks movement. When you bless it as it goes out, when you bless it as it comes in, you step into partnership with the law of abundance. The giver and the receiver are one. When you give with joy, you receive with joy. When you circulate freely, you attract freely. Every coin spent with gratitude is like a seed planted in the soil of the universe, and that seed cannot help but grow and return as harvest. There are those who clutch their money tightly, who say, I cannot afford to give, I cannot afford to circulate, I cannot afford to trust, and they wonder why more does not come. But the very act of fear closes the channel The very words I cannot afford declare to the universe, I am poor, I am limited, I am small. And the universe delivers according to their decree. But the one who says, I give with joy, I release with faith, I spend with gratitude, declares, I am rich, I am unlimited, I am abundant. And the universe says, let it be so, and opens the floodgates of supply. Think for a moment about your attitude toward money. When you receive it, do you bless it? Or do you dismiss it as not enough? When you pay your bills, do you give thanks for the service you enjoyed, for the roof over your head, for the light in your home? Or do you curse the expense when you give to another? Do you feel lack, or do you feel joy? Every feeling is a command. Every thought is a prayer. Every emotion is an instruction to money itself. And money obeys the vibration you send. The secret is simple. Treat money as you would treat a dear friend. Welcome it with gratitude, respect its presence, use it with wisdom, share it with joy, release it with love, and it will return again and again, eager to be in your company. But treat it with fear, mistrust, disrespect, or resentment, and it will flee like a guest unwelcome in your home. So let your money flow as energy. Let it move with freedom, let it serve with joy, let it bless others, and in blessing others it will bless you. Respect it, and it will respect you. Be grateful, and it will multiply. Circulate it, and it will never cease to return. Words are not empty sounds. Words are not meaningless vibrations. Words are power. Words are seeds. Words are forces shaping the unseen and carving reality into form. Every word you speak is a command. Every word you utter is a prophecy. Every phrase you repeat becomes the law of your life. Words are containers of energy, carrying either abundance or lack, wealth or poverty, success or failure. When you speak words of wealth, you summon wealth. When you speak words of lack, you summon lack. When you speak words of faith, you summon miracles. When you speak words of doubt, you summon obstacles. The universe does not hear jokes. The universe does not recognize sarcasm. Subconscious does not filter your speech. It takes every word as law. It engraves it upon the soul and shapes your world accordingly. This is why so many live in lack, not because the universe has withheld, but because their words have declared it. Every time they say, I cannot afford, every time they say, money is hard, every time they say wealth is for others and not for me, they are programming their subconscious to shut the gates of abundance. They are planting seeds of poverty in the soil of their mind, and the harvest cannot help but reflect the seed. But when you change your words, you change your world. When you speak words of wealth, when you declare, I am richly supplied, when you affirm money flows to me easily, when you speak abundance with confidence, you are programming your subconscious to align with prosperity. Your mind begins to search for opportunities instead of obstacles. Your energy begins to attract money instead of repel it. Your spirit begins to expect increase instead of lack. Words are the architects of your destiny. They are the builders of the house you live in. Imagine a gardener planting seeds each day, some seeds of roses, some seeds of weeds. The soil does not argue. Soil does not choose. It simply grows whatever is planted. So it is with your subconscious. It does not argue. It does not judge. It simply grows the seeds you sow with your words. If you plant lack, it grows lack. If you plant wealth, it grows wealth. The question is not whether your words have power. The question is what kind of power you are choosing to release. Some say, but I must speak what I see. I must speak reality. But reality is not fixed. Reality is fluid. Reality is shaped by words. The rich man did not always see wealth. He spoke it before it came. The successful woman did not always see doors open. She declared them open before they swung wide. The great achievers of history spoke into being the world they desired long before evidence appeared. They called things that were not as though they were, and the universe bowed to their command. To speak abundance is not to lie. It is to align. It is not to pretend. It is to create. It is to acknowledge that the unseen is more powerful than the seen. It is to recognize that words are keys that unlock what is waiting in the invisible realm. Money exists in infinite supply, and words are the code that opens the vault. When you declare, I am rich, you are not deceiving yourself. You are aligning with the truth of abundance that already exists, and by speaking it, you draw it into form. Think of how often you curse your own life with careless words. You say, I am broke. You say, I am drowning in debt. You say, money slips through my fingers. And then you wonder why your experience reflects your speech, yet your words were the script, and your life was only acting out the role your tongue assigned. But when you shift the script, when you write new lines of wealth, new declarations of abundance, new affirmations of prosperity, your life begins to act out the new Story: the subconscious mind is like fertile ground. It cannot resist the seeds you sow. It cannot say no to your words. It must obey them over time. The words you repeat most often become the beliefs that govern your life, and the beliefs that govern your life attract the circumstances that match them. If you constantly say, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am blessed, your subconscious aligns to that reality and begins to draw it into being. If you constantly say, I am struggling, I am poor, I am unlucky, your subconscious aligns to that reality, and it too must manifest. You must learn the discipline of speech. You must guard your tongue as though it were the pen writing your destiny. You must refuse to curse yourself with words of lack. You must refuse to speak defeat. You must refuse to complain, for every complaint is a prayer for more of the same. Every negative declaration is a request to the universe to continue your struggle, but every affirmation of wealth is a prayer for increase. Every declaration of abundance is a request for multiplication. Every word of gratitude is an invitation for more blessings. So speak abundance, speak prosperity, speak wealth until the sound of those words fills your soul and becomes your natural state. Say, money flows to me freely and joyfully. Say, I am richly supplied in all things. Say, my hands are never empty, my wall it is never barren, my bank account overflows with blessings. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as fact. And when your subconscious accepts it, your reality must reflect it, for the inner always becomes the outer, and the spoken always becomes the seen. Do not wait for evidence to speak abundance. Do not wait for the money to come before declaring wealth. Do not wait for success to arrive before affirming success. That is not faith, that is reaction. Faith speaks before it sees, faith declares before it touches, faith affirms before it holds. Speak it in the dark, and it will shine. Speak it in the desert, and it will bloom. Speak it in the silence, and it will echo back in abundance. Words are power, words are spirit. Words are law. Use them with intention, use them with vision, use them with faith, and the flow of money must align with your command. For you are never without power. Your tongue is the scepter of your life. Your speech is the throne from which you rule. Choose your words with care, and wealth will choose you with joy. Chasing money is like chasing a shadow. The harder you run, the further it seems to slip away. The more desperately you grasp, the faster it flees. For money is never meant to be hunted. Money is never meant to be your master. Money is a servant, and servants do not come to the desperate. Come to the confident, the certain, the purposeful. When you chase money with fear in your eyes and grasping in your hands, you are telling the universe, I do not believe I am abundant. I do not trust that supply is mine. I am small. I am lacking. I am desperate. And the universe mirrors back exactly that lack, that desperation, that endless pursuit. But when you live in purpose, when you live in joy, when you live in faith, you no longer need to chase money. Money comes running to you. As a natural effect, you become magnetic to supply. You become irresistible to opportunity, for the man of purpose does not wake each morning saying, how will I get money? He wakes saying, how will I serve? How will I live my truth? How will I bring joy and excellence to this day? And in the midst of serving, in the midst of creating, in the midst of expressing his gifts, money flows like a river without effort. Money is not attracted to desperation. Money is attracted to certainty. Money is not attracted to fear. Money is attracted to faith. Money is not attracted to hollow pursuit. Money is attracted to meaningful purpose. The tree does not chase the sun. The tree simply grows in its nature, and the sun shines upon it. Flower does not chase the bee. It simply blooms, and the bees come in swarms. So it is with you. Bloom in your purpose. Live in your joy. Align with your truth, and money will be drawn like iron to a magnet. There are countless souls who spend their lives chasing money and yet remain poor. They run from job to job, scheme to scheme, hustle to hustle, thinking, if only I catch this next chance, I will be rich. But wealth evades them because they are out of alignment. They are living from lack. They are trying to grasp from emptiness, and emptiness cannot attract fullness. But look at those who live from vision. Look at those who give themselves to purpose. Look at those who follow joy. They may not have chased money, but money came chasing them, because alignment is wealth. Alignment is magnetism. Alignment is the law of attraction in its purest form. When you live in joy, you send out a vibration that universe cannot ignore. Joy is wealth. Joy is abundance. Joy is the song that calls money home. But when you live in bitterness, when you live in resentment, when you live in despair, you sing the song of lack, and money does not dance to that tune. Faith is the same. Faith is a fragrance that draws opportunity. Faith is a light that draws supply. Faith is the assurance that all things are already provided, And when you carry that assurance, life rushes to confirm it. Purpose is the soil in which prosperity grows. Money without purpose is like water in a cracked vessel. It leaks away no matter how much is poured in, but money with purpose multiplies and expands because it is rooted in truth. The man who says, I will make money to serve myself alone, finds it slipping through his fingers. But the man who says, I will live my gift, I will fulfill my calling, I will bring light and service to others, finds money multiplying in his hands, not because he chased it, but because it chased him. Think of the musician who plays only for the sake of money. His music feels hollow, his art is lifeless, he struggles to find audience, and even when he earns, he is empty. But think of the musician who plays with joy, with passion, with purpose. His music lifts the soul, his art spreads like fire, his name is carried on the wind, and money flows to him as naturally as breath, not because he begged for it, not because he pursued it, but because he aligned with the truth of who he was. The same law governs every craft, every gift, every calling. When you align with truth, you become abundant. When you live in joy, you become magnetic. When you stand in faith, you become unstoppable. Chasing is a declaration of lack. Alignment is a declaration of abundance. Chasing says, I do not have alignment, says, I already am. Chasing says, I am empty. Alignment says, I am full, and the universe responds to the fullness, not the emptiness. Release the chase, release the desperate pursuit, release the fear driven grasping. Step instead into purpose. Wake each morning and ask, what gift do I carry? What light can I shine? What service can I give? What truth can I embody? And as you live from that place, the money will come, the opportunities will come, the supply will come. You will not need to beg, you will not need to strain, you will not need to plead for it, you will only need to live. And as you live richly, money will answer richly. This is hidden wisdom most never see, because the world teaches chase, chase the job, chase the raise, chase the deal, chase the opportunity. But truth teaches become aligned, become joyful, become purposeful, become faithful. And all these things shall be added to you. The anxious mind never finds peace even when surrounded by riches, but the faithful mind walks in peace and finds riches wherever it goes. So remember, chasing money pushes it away. It is a shadow that flees from pursuit, but living in purpose, joy, and faith draws it near. It comes willingly, it comes joyfully, it comes abundantly. For money was never meant to be chased, it was meant to be attracted by the light of your purpose, by the song of your joy, by the certainty of your faith. Live these and money cannot resist you. Live these and money must bow before you. Live these and money will flow to you as the rivers flow to the sea. Affirmations are not empty phrases, they are not wishful thinking, they are not idle words whispered into the air. Affirmations are spiritual decrees. Affirmations are laws spoken into being. Affirmations are the keys that unlock invisible doors. Affirmations of prosperity spoken with conviction carry the force of creation itself. They alter the unseen, they rearrange circumstances, they bend reality into alignment with your spoken truth. When you declare wealth with conviction, you are not begging, you are commanding. When you affirm prosperity, you are not asking for permission, you are writing the law upon your own life. So many speak words without power, they recite lines without conviction, they repeat affirmations, as though reading a script with no fire in the heart, no certainty in the voice. And then they wonder why nothing changes. For the words of prosperity must be spoken as decrees, not as doubt. Whispered into the wind, they must be charged with belief, they must be saturated with faith, they must carry the authority of one who knows the law and expects its fulfillment. When you say, I am wealthy, you must feel it in your bones, you must see it in your mind, you must taste it in your soul. And then the universe says yes. Logic will argue, and logic will resist. Logic will say, how can you say I am wealthy when the account is empty? How can you say I am prosperous when the bills are many? How can you affirm abundance when your pockets are bare? But affirmations are not the language of logic, they are the language of spirit. They are the voice of creation, speaking beyond evidence, declaring beyond appearance. Logic can only see the present facts, but affirmations create new facts. Affirmations shape new outcomes. Affirmations bypass the barriers of reason and plant new realities in the soil of unseen. Think of a king giving a decree. The moment the words leave his lips, the order is carried out. The messengers run, the soldiers move, the kingdom shifts to fulfill his command. So it is with your affirmations. When spoken with conviction, your subconscious becomes the soldier, your energy becomes the messenger, your environment becomes the kingdom, and all rush to fulfill the command you have declared. It is not a question of if, it is only a question of how soon. Affirmations are the language of faith, And faith does not argue with appearances. Faith does not bow to circumstances. Faith declares truth until circumstances bow to it. Every great breakthrough in life begins with a decree spoken against all odds. When the world said impossible, the decree said it is done. When the evidence said no way, the decree said watch and see. When the facts said lack, the decree said abundance. And the decree prevailed because spirit outruns logic. Every time some whisper their affirmations timidly, but timid words carry no weight. Timid decrees hold no authority. The affirmation must be alive. It must burn with certainty. It must strike with power. You must declare, I am rich with the voice of one who knows. I am prosperous with the tone of one who commands. I am abundant with the certainty of one who already possesses. And as you do so, the very energy of the universe bends to obey. Affirmations open doors that logic cannot explain, for logic looks for cause and effect, but spirit creates without cause. Logic says there must be a way. Spirit says I will make a way. Logic says there is no door. Spirit says I will open a door where none exists. Logic says there is no supply. Spirit says I will call forth supply from the invisible. Logic says there is no opportunity. Spirit says I will create one. Wilderness. This is why affirmations seem miraculous to those who live only by reason. But to those who understand the law, affirmations are not miracles, they are mechanics. You must learn to treat your affirmations as sacred decrees, never casual, never careless, never spoken in jest. For every word carries force, every phrase is a seed, every declaration is a law being written. Speak with intention, speak with fire, speak with reverence, as though your voice were the trumpet announcing destiny, and your words the banners of victory. And soon you will see the outer life reshaping itself to match inner decree. Do not underestimate repetition, for repetition engraves the decree upon the subconscious. Repetition takes the word from the surface to the core, from the lips to the spirit, from the thought to the reality. Each time you say, I am wealthy, the roots grow deeper. Each time you say, I am prosperous, the law grows stronger. Each time you say, I am abundant, the reality grows closer, until it is no longer something you affirm, but something you embody. It becomes your natural state. Your subconscious accepts it as fact. And when the subconscious accepts it, reality must reflect it. Affirmations are not meant to be empty chants. They are meant to be lived. They are meant to be felt. They are meant to be declared with joy, with gratitude, with power. They are meant to shift not only your outer world, but your inner posture. When you affirm prosperity with conviction, you begin to walk differently. You begin to think differently. You begin to act with confidence, as though the decree were already fulfilled. And that very confidence attracts the fulfillment. So remember, affirmations are not begging. They are not hoping. They are not pretending. They are commanding. They are decreeing. They are creating. Affirmations of prosperity, spoken with conviction, act like spiritual laws, shifting reality, bending the unseen, opening doors, and drawing to you what logic alone could never grasp. Speak them with authority. Speak them with fire. Speak them with certainty, and watch as the universe rushes to obey. Prosperity is not the size of your bank account. Prosperity is not the number of houses you own. Prosperity is not the luxury car parked in your driveway. Prosperity is far greater, far deeper, far more profound. True prosperity is a state of being. It is the peace that fills your mind. It is the freedom that flows through your choices. It is the joy that radiates from your soul. And money is only one servant among many to bring that prosperity into form. Money alone is not prosperity, for many have millions and yet live in torment. Many hold fortunes and yet walk restless in fear. Many possess riches and yet remain poor in spirit. True prosperity begins when you understand that money is not your master. It is not your ruler. It does not dictate your life. It does not decide your destiny. Money was created to serve you, to answer to your commands, to be a tool in your hand, not a chain around your neck. When money is your master, you live in bondage. You wake and sleep thinking of it. You live in fear of losing it. You are enslaved to its rise and fall. You measure your worth by its digits, and you cannot rest. But when money is your servant, you walk free. You tell it where to go. You assign it to bless others. You command it to multiply, and it obeys, for that is its true role. Peace is the wealth that cannot be stolen. When you lay your head at night without fear, when you rise in the morning without anxiety, When you walk through the day without chains of worry, that is prosperity. There are those who sit in mansions and yet cannot sleep, for their mind is bound by fear. And there are those who sit in humble homes with peace in their hearts, and they are truly rich, for peace is a treasure greater than gold. Freedom is the true wealth, freedom to choose how to spend your days, freedom to give without fear, freedom to walk your own path without chains of lack or chains of greed. Many have money but not freedom, for they are bound to the race, bound to the competition, bound to the endless hunger for more. But freedom is found when you know that money is endless, that supply is infinite, that abundance is natural. Then you no longer live in grasping, you no longer live in fear, you no longer live in chains. You are free to serve, free to create, free to live. Joy is the crown of prosperity, joy that rises not because of numbers in an account, but because of alignment with truth, joy that springs not from possessions, but from purpose, joy that overflows not from things, but from being. When you live in joy, money flows easily, because joy is the highest magnet. Joy is the vibration of abundance. Joy is the declaration that you are already rich regardless of what you see, and in that joy, the supply multiplies. When you know money is your servant, never your master, you carry yourself differently. You no longer bow to fear of loss, you no longer chase with desperation, you no longer measure yourself by possessions. Instead, you walk with dignity, you handle money with respect, you circulate it with gratitude, you give it with love, and you receive it with joy. You know that money comes and goes like the tide, but you remain unshaken, for you stand on the rock of peace. You dwell in the freedom of spirit, you live in the joy of abundance. True prosperity is balance, it is harmony, it is wholeness. Man who has millions yet no peace is poor. The woman who has wealth yet no freedom is impoverished. The one who has possessions yet no joy is bankrupt. But the one who has peace, freedom, and joy is prosperous, whether his money be small or great. For with these he is never lacking, and with these money must come as a servant, bowing to his higher wealth. Do not mistake money for prosperity. Do not mistake possessions for abundance. Do not mistake wealth for freedom, for all these without peace are hollow. All these without joy are empty. All these without freedom are chains. But when peace fills your mind, when freedom flows through your choices, when joy shines from your soul, then prosperity is yours. And money follows like a faithful servant, carrying gifts at your command. The great secret is this: you were never meant to serve money. Money was always meant to serve you. Money is energy. Money tool. Money is instrument. Money is messenger. It moves where you send it. It grows where you bless it. It multiplies where you command it. But it must never become your master, for no master built of paper, no master built of coin, no master built of numbers can ever give you the true prosperity of peace, freedom, and joy. So walk in the wealth of peace, dwell in the richness of freedom, live in the abundance of joy, and let money take its rightful place as servant at your side. When you do, you will know true prosperity, not measured in numbers, but in the fullness of life. And as you live in that fullness, the numbers too will come multiplying, increasing, flowing without strain, because they are answering to the vibration of your spirit. For spirit rules matter, and money always follows the soul that knows its power.